What is going on, y'all? Faiz Sports Talk back at it with another video talking some NBA, and as you can tell, obviously by the title, talking about something very serious, which is the NBA players boycotting NBA games, NBA playoff games over the shooting of a black man, Jacob Blake. Now, you guys know, if you follow the channel, that I tend to not stray too far away from sports. I tend to not bring politics into sports. I tend to not do that. But there are times like today where this is bigger than sports. And this isn't even political at all. And I did the same thing, obviously, after the horrific killing of George Floyd. And I'm here to do something similar and talk about, this stance that the NBA players have taken. So, again, I'm going to talk about this because, again, this is impacting all of us, right? Because at the end of the day, selfishly saying, I want my sports back, but this is not the time to be selfish because this impacts all of us with sports. But this is a time where, folks, it is bigger than sports, okay? And so before I talk about my comments here, let me just preface something by saying I don't have all the facts in regards to, what happened with Jacob Blake and the case in Kenosha. I'm not going to assume like I know all the facts. I'm not going to pretend or act like I know all the facts. All I want to focus on is the NBA player stance and the NBA season and whether or not it will resume. So before you come in here in the comments talking about Faiz, you don't know what happened, etc., I'm not pretending like I know what happened. I'm only speaking to what I know and giving my opinion on what I know. And so that's the main thing here, okay? And so when we talk about the NBA players boycotting, I see a lot of people being upset that the NBA players boycotting won't do a damn thing. And here's my stance on this. I told you, selfishly, I want sports back, but this is not the time to be selfish. So when I remove that part of it, and when I hear people saying, this is not going to do anything for the players who are obviously boycotting to bring justice and to put an end to police brutality, I say this to those people, okay? If basketball was still being played, and by the way, this isn't just about basketball, baseball games got canceled and postponed as well, and this could spill over into football, folks, which is why it's so important, because this isn't just the NBA. This could be across all leagues. So we have to talk about this because, again, it is that impactful, where we saw baseball games got postponed and canceled, and it could happen with college football. It could happen with the NFL, okay? So when people say, the boycotting the games doesn't do a damn thing, and I'm here to tell you this. When Kyrie Irving said before the NBA bubble restart that he wanted to not have the NBA season restart and just focus on protesting and focus on, bringing awareness to a lot of these cases, I criticized Kyrie saying he should use the NBA platform at the bubble to bring awareness. And, there's a lot of players that are dependent on the salaries of the NBA to put food on the table for their families. But now, again, putting that second thing to aside, because again, at the end of the day, getting paid is how you obviously put food on the table. But point being here is, I criticize Kyrie for that. And now, NBA players realize that even after the NBA has allowed them to, have Black Lives Matter painted on the court, after the NBA has allowed them to have social messages on the back of their jerseys, that things like this continue to happen. So after a certain amount of time, doing the same thing doesn't do anything. And so you have to get uncomfortable. This is uncomfortable. Again, a lot of people don't like it, but this is how you bring about change. Now you might ask, Faiz, how do they plan to bring about change just by boycotting a game? Look, I get it. It's going to be hard. But you can make an impact, and I'm guessing this is what the players are hoping to do, I'm pretty sure, which is you don't play games, which is obviously going to hurt the revenue for the league, but also going to hurt the revenue for team owners. And team owners are billionaires. And billionaires, no politicians. And politicians are the ones that impact and change legislations. So they are hoping, and when I say they, I mean the NBA players are hoping that they can have an influence on the bottom line, which is the dollars, by not playing and letting the politicians know that the billionaire owners know that they need to talk to these politicians and let them know to bring about change. That is what I believe is going to trigger the boycott. And at worst, we're talking about it, right? We're here to talk about it, because if basketball was going on as normal, nobody would talk about this and people would just forget this as news that, it goes about on every day. So that is the whole reason behind the boycott. So for the people that are saying, what is one game going to do? It could have more of an impact than you think. And for all the people that are saying, listen, this is bad for business, folks, we're not even talking about business right now. Yes, of course, the NBA is going to lose a lot of money. Yes, of course, there's going to be a lot of, revenue loss, etc. But at the end of the day, this is not about business. If it was, the season would never be, the games would never be canceled and players would still be playing right now. Okay? So it's bigger than that. So for all the people saying that, I want you to know it is bigger than that. Okay? So I want to hear out these players, obviously, and let them, do what they are doing. And here's the thing. A lot of people have criticized the players to say, hey, you want to protest, boycott, put your money where your mouth is. They're doing that. I mean, they're doing that. Again, I don't know in terms of if they're getting paid or not, but they're literally not playing games. So if the owners don't pay them, they're putting the money where their mouth is. The players are, okay? So you can't fault them for that. And so, again, I am with the players for, trying to bring change, trying to bring awareness, because at the end of the day, folks, there's things more important than sports, and this is another one of those times. Okay? That's just it. And as far as the latest that I know, the NBA players obviously began the boycott with the Milwaukee Bucks. George Hill was reportedly the player that kind of galvanized all the Bucks players to go ahead and do the boycott. And because obviously the situation of Jacob Blake happened in Kenosha, Wisconsin, that is obviously, close to Milwaukee, Milwaukee is in Wisconsin. That is why the Bucks kind of felt more close to home here in terms of taking the first step. Okay, so they took that step, and then obviously it was a domino effect in which, the other games and the players boycotted that. Last I read from reports, which was that the players had a players-only meeting, and apparently the Lakers and Clippers voted to boycott the season, and the other 28 teams, I think, voted to continue playing, but LeBron James apparently wants owners to make some sort of a decision and give the players a reason to continue playing, which is what I mentioned before. Again, billionaire owners talking to their politician friends could bring about change. So that is what the players are hoping to do. As far as the season resuming, folks, I obviously have no idea if it's going to happen or not. But here's where I'm at. If the season does not resume and the playoffs just get canceled, there are a lot of ramifications here, obviously, with regards to next season and whatnot. Like, there would definitely 1,000% be a lockout. There would be a lockout because, again, at the end of the day, again, I mentioned to you this is not about business, but the only reason I'm pointing this out is to just give you guys the gist of it, which is, at the end of the day, the dollars do matter in terms of, the leagues continuing. And so there's going to be, TV deals and whatnot that might want their money back if the playoffs get canceled or whatnot. And so there would have to be a lot of renegotiation. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, if the season does get canceled, it is going to get very messy from a, perspective of negotiations. Okay, so that would be a point where we might not see basketball for a long time. Okay, again, more important than basketball right now, but just wanted to point that out. So again, folks, that's where I'm at, folks. I support the players because at the end of the day, folks, I am not black. I'm not going to pretend to know what it's like to be black. And folks that are not either shouldn't pretend either, okay? Because you never know until you are in somebody else's shoes. And this is a real issue within the black community. And so and the African-American community. And so that is something where we should hear out the players. Everybody deserves to be treated fairly. Everybody deserves to obviously be treated equally. And so, again, selfishly, I want my sports back. I don't know when it'll happen, but as of right now, there's things bigger than sports, and this is another one of those things. So there you have it, folks. As far as, the updates on when the NBA comes back, I will try to give you guys as many updates as I can. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below, and I will see you guys soon.